Hi, my name is Catherine Zuber, and I'm the costume designer for The King and I. When I first started working on The King and I with Bart Shear and Michael Jurgen, we were trying to arrive at a King and I that had its own voice, that approached the story in a way that it hadn't been done before. It's 1862, based on the writings of Anna Leonowens, who was actually a governess at that time. Of course, there's some givens, the time period and the location, and the king was actually an historic figure, but that the style of the production not be as glittery as it has been in the past and sort of have a more somber, realistic quality. A lot of research was done at the New York Public Library, and there's a photographer, John Thompson, that took a lot of photographs in that region at the time. A lot of photographs of the royal family and the children, so that was quite helpful in arriving at the design. What we'll see initially is Anna and her son, Louis, coming to a place that is very foreboding, and how they sort of navigate through those first moments of arriving in Siam. A lot of the fabrics came from vendors in the New York City area, a huge community of fabrics that come from various parts of India that have quite a lot in common with the historical fabrics of Thailand. So that was a great resource for us. In the fabrics, like in this particular fabric, this is metallic organza. And you know, because it is a musical, there's a little bit of glitz here and there, which is also historically accurate. In the Thai costumes, they used a lot of reflective surfaces as details on their costumes, and things were also embellished with etched gold and various seed pearls and other items that created dimension. This mask is from our ballet, painted by Wilberth Gonzalez. It's made out of plastic. It's quite light. It's based on a traditional Thai mask where you have the little heads on top. If you look at this costume here, it's the costume of the prince, Prince Chula, and it's based on a photograph that we have of Prince Chula in his ceremonial costume. Wilberth, who's on our team, did a great job at fabricating that buckle, and we kind of created it from layering many pieces of jewelry to create our own unique piece and then painting it so it's monochromatic. You see that a lot with some of the jewelry that we have here, that it's all been pieced together from existing pieces and then painted so it has its own unique design and it's not just, you know, off the rack. This is a costume here of one of the royal wives, and the palette for that group, they're in purples, blues, magenta, shades of fuchsia with gold and metallic built into it. So the royal children in their first appearance also have that palette. When the children are under Anna's tutelage and go to school, they start to wear a uniform with purple trousers and a little white top. And then the children also become part of the ballet. It's a melange of fabrics from Thailand, details from Thailand, but the silhouette of Western dress. The Siamese is quite comfortable. It's acknowledging that it's a warm climate. It's much more, I think, in keeping with a modern approach to dressing, whereas the European is quite constricting. There's a corset, there's a huge hoop. For the most part, it's not a very forgiving silhouette in terms of practicality. Kaylee O'Hara has, as Anna, has 3 hoops. She has a travel hoop, which is what we see when she first arrives in Siam. And then she has sort of what we're calling the day hoop, which is her hoop that she wears for her presentation to the king and in the schoolroom. And then she has her ball gown hoop, which is quite large, and it was constructed by Yuriko Costumes, and they did a great job with the engineering of keeping it as light as possible, and also when Kelly dances, it lifts and spins. The initial impulse was maybe to do a champagne tone, but because there's so much gold in the show and It just seemed also when we looked at yellows, it sort of was reminding us of something, and we weren't quite sure what it was, and then we realized it was the belle dress from Beauty and the Beast. So we thought, well, maybe we should go in a different direction. The violet is quite beautiful, and that's, again, an Indian satin. It's changeable satin, so it reflects in the lights quite beautifully. The King and I is a wonderful theatrical experience in that it brings together a fantastic story, movement and dance in an amazing way, romantic tension between our lead characters, a strong woman who in her day is quite adventurous and is seeking out a life true to her beliefs and what she feels is right for her and her son. And on top of everything else, you get transported to an amazing, exotic, romantic place.